Hello, this is Ekta and Pooja, and we are from Journey Together. And today our guest is Michael, who is a Reiki expert and has conducted various sessions in London. Welcome, Michael, to our channel.
Welcome. Welcome, Pooja and
Welcome,
Director. Thank you for having
welcome,
me.
Michael. And it's an honor to have you on this show. And as you know, we are bringing visionaries, leaders, healers from around the world. And they are all sharing their journeys and their healing modalities. Reiki is very special to me, and especially I've done my master's and teacher's course with you. So definitely would like to share your journey with everyone else as well. So over to you, and if you can tell our viewers about what Reiki is and your journey, that would be great.
Great. Thank you, Ekta. So Reiki could be described as a form of energy healing. And often it's described as a hands-on healing, even though there's no need for physical touch. The hands can be near the body. They don't have to be on the body. And during this hands-on healing, universal life force, universal healing energy is being transferred. So the practitioner, the Reiki practitioner or Reiki healer is a channel. She or he would not pass on her or his own personal energy, but would collect and accumulate this universal energy in their body and then overflow it to the client. It's a beautiful process, often described as channeling. And this overflowing secures the comfort and the safety of both the practitioner and the client. And it also makes sure that after the session, the practitioner is also refreshed. And as the Reiki flows through her or him, they receive Reiki at the same time. So that's a beautiful sharing. What Reiki is in terms of the forces of nature, we could describe it as a fundamental force of nature, part of the great spectrum of energies out there in the universe, alongside gravity, light, other electromagnetic forces. Reiki would fit somewhere in the spectrum. And living organisms, and including people, of course, can accumulate that energy, absorb it, accumulate it, and then overflow it. So I think that's a good way to describe Reiki, as a way to channel and overflow. And then the healing takes place in the receiver, depending on their ability to receive and their ability to support and continue to nurture their healing journey. So I think another key word for Reiki is that it's nurturing. It's not a specific targeting of symptoms, but it's more a sort of global general nurturing of the client's energy system. And then good health eventually results as part of that strengthening and balancing and also relaxing. And I think that leads into why I've started my journey with Reiki in 1996, 24 years ago.
Wow.
And at the time, it really was a need for self-healing, various health issues, including allergies, and at the time also a little bit of low energy because of my intense lifestyle as a musician and an artist. I studied fine arts in Switzerland, where I lived before I came to England. And so at the time, 24 years ago, I needed something to strengthen my immune system, to rebalance my energy, and to increase or improve my well-being. And through friends and word of mouth, Reiki was recommended, and so I tried it and loved it. I could describe it as falling in love with the energy, with the relaxation, with the kind of feeling of inner spaciousness. It felt like every time I received Reiki, it felt like a mini holiday, like a mini retreat. And it became very valuable, a very valuable support for me. And then it was a natural progression to want to learn it, to want to share it with others. And already when I did my Reiki level 1 course, I knew I wanted to move on to level 2 and eventually also do the Reiki master and then the teacher course.
So there are 3
So,
or 4
mhm.
levels. So are there 3 or 4 levels? Do we have
Pardon?
3? Do we have 3 levels or 4 levels in Reiki?
Some schools divide it into 3, some into 4.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard of schools that divide it even into 6 or 8 levels, I think. Some of them. But I think most commonly it's 3 levels. As far as I'm aware, from what my Japanese teachers told me, Mikao Usui and Chichiro Hayashi, the sort of the founders of Reiki healing, they taught Reiki in 3 levels. Hayashi later explored and added a level to that, and so did Hawaii Takata, who brought Reiki to the West. But most schools were teaching in 3 levels. Level 1, the beginner, for total beginners, no prerequisites, just curiosity and openness. And level 1 equips you to do self-healing and also give Reiki to friends and family members, people you are familiar with and whose energy you know well. So it's a safe ground to practice. Then after a little while, after a few weeks or month, you can move on to level 2, which is the intermediate level. And it sort of adds on, it comes on top of level 1. So you have to have done level 1 first. And then level 2 adds the symbols and the distance healing technique. And that's beautiful extension to the hands-on healing. The symbols allow you to connect Reiki for another person across space. So they could be in another country or in another house around the corner. Regarding of the distance, we can, in inverted commas, send or connect Reiki for them. And it's also possible to connect Reiki back in time to a younger part of you. So it gets quite magical in a way. And then the third level, which the way I teach includes the teacher module, whilst other teachers sometimes single that out and have a level 4 for the special teacher level. That includes how to give attunements. And the attunement really is the key of the teaching at each level. It's an energy transmission that opens up a person's ability to channel Reiki, that awakens their inner healer, as well as advanced techniques at the Reiki master level. There's a lot of beautiful material to explore.
As a Reiki teacher, you would have, indulged, or you would have, kind of explored more healing modalities, or, been a spiritual shopper before. So just wanted to understand, Reiki versus other healing modalities, what has your experience been?
Um, I've been lucky to have known a lot of other practitioners and always worked alongside other practitioners. And I've done a lot of swaps and exchanges with other practitioners. So other healing modalities that I felt similar to Reiki in my personal experience, even though they would be proper therapies in their own right, but craniosacral therapy is one that I love a lot, and I had a lot and still do. And that sort of that inner space that takes you in, that depth and the relaxation, I would compare to the experience when having Reiki. I've had theta healing, which I enjoyed very much, which felt similar. Certain meditation techniques, mindfulness meditation, breath awareness pranayama can feel similar. I personally believe that all the different energy healing modalities out there, pranic healing, even many of the so-called spiritual healing modalities, I believe, it's my personal belief, that they ultimately draw from the same one source. And that, like the light from the sun that comes as a full spectrum light, can pass through a prism, can pass through different filters, and then you have individual rays and frequencies that stand out. But it all comes from the one light source, from the sun. And I think that's a good metaphor for many of the spiritual and energy healing practices out there. I think they come from the same one source. And each style, each modality then focuses on certain aspects and certain qualities. And I think that's beautiful. I love that diversity. It allows people to find just the right thing for them at the right time.
What you can resonate with, basically.
Yes, exactly. Exactly.
Like
So
I
some
have
people
done
feel more,
another type of healing. I've done Reiki as well. I've done another type of healing wherein they've kind of combined Reiki with mantras, and it's super. I mean, it resonates with me so much. So yeah. So it depends
wonderful.
to you what resonates with you, like you said.
At Reiki level 2, the symbols are accompanied by mantras.
Okay. Okay.
So that's a beautiful practice that can also become part of one's personal meditation. So you would start your meditation by visualizing a Reiki symbol and then chanting the mantra. And that would beautifully sort of create a transition from the ordinary mind and the daytime thinking. It would create a lovely transition into meditation.
Michael, would you share some of the experiences that people would have, experienced after meeting you or when you did Reiki healing to them? I mean, not everyone knows what Reiki can impact and, why you
Yeah.
should reach out for Reiki.
So Reiki has a different effect for each person because Reiki is more like a nourishment, like a treat rather than a treatment. Um, it goes to work in each person in its individual way. And in some people, it goes to work at the physical level straight away. In other people, it goes to work at the emotional level first, sometimes the mental level, the negative thinking and the beliefs. So a certain relaxation and healing takes place there. In some people, it goes to work at the spiritual level, the sense of connectedness and loneliness that some people find themselves in, a spiritual loneliness, disconnected from the rest of life and world. So Reiki can bring about a feeling of connectedness again, and we could call that a spiritual healing. In my little book, Understanding Reiki, that can be downloaded from my website behind me, reiki-meditation.co.uk. I quote a few case studies. And so there was a gentleman who suffered from sinusitis for many years. And it was then actually working on his digestive system that made a difference. I found that a very interesting case, and that's why I quoted here that sometimes the symptom comes up in a certain area, a certain body part, but the cause,
Can be
the actual
different.
problem, might be somewhere else. So in this gentleman's case, the problem was actually in the digestive system. And so the Reiki working on the digestive system then eventually also helped the sinusitis to clear, which was a side effect of his digestive trouble that he had. I quote also a lady who had lots of stress after a breakup of a marriage, a divorce, and then a car accident on top and whiplash. And for her, the Reiki sessions were precious because there were these islands of calm and an opportunity to center. And so after a couple of sessions, her whiplash really relaxed because whiplash is, of course, a spasm. It's a protective spasm. So she felt through the Reiki that she could connect with a sense of safety again. And that made a big difference, which is lovely. Another case study quoted is a lady who, after a miscarriage, experienced a lot of distress. And the Reiki helped her to come to terms with that experience, just through the stillness and this feeling of being held in a safe space and connected to an energy, a good energy.
All these sessions, are they online or they have to, these people have to come and visit you and then you take those sessions?
That's a good question. Most of the sessions I've done with clients were in person at one of my clinics in London or Canterbury. It's only now through the current lockdown situation, social
Yeah.
distancing, that I'm doing a lot more online work. But I have previously done online work with clients who first saw me in person, but then moved away. So clients, because I've seen clients in London, always in the city area as well. There were clients who moved to the States, to France, to Turkey, and to other countries, and they wanted to keep in touch. So over the last 15 years already, I've also done online distance healing sessions for clients, but with a video calling connection, as I now have with you. So we were connected over either a normal phone call or Skype, and most recently Zoom or FaceTime, which have become available. But most of the work is in person and will be hopefully again soon.
Great.
Yeah, we just we just want to know more that one is experiencing and getting healing, and other is getting attunements. So when a person wants to take the path of becoming a master and teacher, since I have done that course with you, how would you, when is that person ready, first of all? And also wanted to check with you, attunements in current lockdown situation, can that happen on online, or do you think it should be in person?
It has to be in person.
Yeah.
So what can happen during the current coronavirus lockdown is a partial attunement through distance attuning,
Right.
and that's partial.
Okay.
It enables the person to practice self-healing,
Right.
and on people of their very close inner circle, core family.
Okay.
And so the distance attunement allows that, because for self-healing and people they're very close to, the energy connection is already very good, and there's a strong energetic rapport and connection, and it is safe to practice with a distance attunement only. But all of the teaching I've done online so far, we will all get together for another day to then give the concluding proper in-person attunement, and of course to also practice the hands-on practice, which will look a little different, obviously, with visors and masks and the necessary measures. But I've scheduled it. I've done the planning today, so this will happen in a couple of weeks. We'll get together for the first, second sessions. So yes, attunement always has to be in person, or if distance attunement, there has to then be another in-person attunement to complete and to conclude. That's really important. And I don't know of any association or professional body who would accept a course and approve of a course that provides distance attunements only. So my courses are part of an accredited or approved program,
Yeah.
um, approved by the UK Reiki Federation and the Complementary National Healthcare Council. And they require that there is an in-person attunement as part of that package for each level. And I totally agree with that.
Brilliant.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you
Thank
so
you,
much.
Michael, so much. Thank you
You're
for
very
joining us
welcome.
today. It was
A great
so
pleasure
nice to
talking.
have you.
Yeah, very insightful session and really an honor to have you. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
so